7-iron like John Davis at 3.
You suck, you jackass. I can make things out of clay and lay by the bay. I just made.
There is old Mr. Three Wiggle, isn't there?
Take drugs, Danny? Every day.
Good. Still going.
All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to For the Game podcast, brought to you by the guys at GolfDoods, with input from and insight into the PFP Tour and all things golf. I want to quickly thank our sponsors over at kegsmiths.com and sweetrollsgolf.com. Go check those guys out. We have a discount code here. PFP15 is 15% off everything on their sites. My name is Jeff Lewis. As always, we have with us Mark Bonus. What's going on, Mark?
What's up, boys? How are we today?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Feeling mean.
Feeling mean, like always.
Angry. Pretty pissed, actually.
You're actually mad. Okay, I got you. We'll tone that down for now. Also with us from GolfDoods, we have Brandon Fletcher. How you doing tonight, B?
What's going on, fellas? How are you? Happy to be here.
Yeah, man.
Podcast.
You're back from the boonies of Lake Charles. Congratulations.
Thank you. Back home in Dallas.
Yeah, seriously.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. Well, tonight on For the Game, we have the winner of the second Nashville event from the PFP Tour. Jordan Gumberg is going to be joining us, talking golf for a quick second. We're going to ask him some questions, get some hacker tips for all of us. We're also going to talk about the Byron Nelson that just ended today, and we're going to get some picks and some overview of the PGA Championship that's coming up next weekend. Going to dive into all that stuff. So without any further ado, let's get to the meat of tonight's podcast. The guest, we have Jordan Gumberg, the winner of the Nashville PFP event. What's up, Jordan?
Hey, guys. What's going on?
How
we doing?
Hey, Jordan, thanks for being here, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, buddy. Well, like I said, congratulations on winning the Nashville PFP, the second Nashville event at the Legacy Golf Club.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
We've been following the PFP Tour since the jump off, and it was one of the first times they were running the playoffs. So quick backstory, Jordan won this tournament. The second hole, he had 2 playoff holes, came down to a playoff, and they live streamed both of the playoff holes from the PFP Tour account. So we were able to watch it live. And yeah, we were talking for a split second. It was like the first time where I felt like the PFP Tour, it was like I was watching the PGA. It was exciting. You guys were battling it down. It took 2 birdies to take it down. How did you feel about the playoff? How was it?
Yeah, I was fortunate playing with a good friend of mine, Brandon Holzer, and we were kind of going back and forth all weekend, kind of taking the lead and giving it up and whatever. And it was really just like 2 friends going out and playing golf, but like obviously with something on the line. And it was I hadn't been in a playoff in a little while. I don't really let nerves get to me too much, but it was definitely fun to have those nerves in that kind of environment for first time in a while. So made 2 birdies. First hole, Brandon actually almost canned an eagle putt from about 60 feet.
I saw that.
That thing was maybe a half an inch short of the cup. My balls definitely went in my stomach there for a couple of seconds.
As they should have. I was watching. I saw it.
I had to make a little 15-footer to extend, and I was in a little bit of a screwed spot. Luckily we made it and went to the next one, and I made, he missed, and that was the Cinderella story.
That's just how crazy golf is, and how from one second to the next momentum can switch 100%. Because as an onlooker who didn't know either of you guys, just watching as a spectator, for me, it looked like it was over. You stuck it to about 20 feet on the second, or, maybe a little closer than that, but, 15, 20 feet. And then it looked like he stuck it to about 5 to 8, somewhere in that range. And so I'm, from the spectator's view, I'm like, oh, well, this other guy's got it. And then here it comes. You sink the long birdie putt. He misses his 5-footer. You win the tournament. I was like, wait, whoa.
Agree too. Brandon was making absolutely everything for 3 days. The guy was like a machine for 3 days. If it was 10 feet and in, it was either hitting the hole or going in.
Jesus.
So to be honest, when I made that 20-footer on the second hole, I was kind of walking off to the side, expecting to go to the third.
Yeah.
And it kind of caught me by surprise when his putt didn't go in. It was fun.
Well, I think it's cool, even knowing that, especially for him, knowing that his putt didn't go in. The cool thing about the PFP Tour and the structure they have is, you guys are both in a playoff, but at least, there was the knowledge that you both were going to make some money at the end of it,
Yeah, I think most of us are out there really for it's not really for the money. When you're playing a PFP event, it's more for we're there because we really don't have anything else to do from week to week.
Yeah.
So being able to be somewhere in a decent area, play a decent golf course against our buddies, is really what makes it special. It makes it why everybody's playing the PFP right now.
Totally. I mean, do you feel like these? I mean, are these the tournaments that really do kind of keep you in the hunt and keep your game tight?
So just to give you a little backstory on like how Monday qualifiers work, we're leaving on a Saturday, playing practice on Sunday, wherever we are. After the Monday qualifier, we have a week. We have from Tuesday till that next Saturday or Sunday to absolutely pretty much nothing. So we're calling around, finding golf courses to play. If any friends are in the area, we'll play some money games or something like that. But the PFP tour really allows us to have like a concrete plan of what we're going to do for that week.
Yeah.
And we get to, stay in relatively nice areas too. We were in Nashville. How bad could that be?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what Sean was saying too. He's like, we got to go stay in Nashville for like 2.5 weeks. I'm like, shut up, dude.
And it seems to me like that's another benefit, right? Is if you don't qualify, that you're at least going to be playing other quality competitors, and keeping your game tight, and giving you an opportunity to measure up against some really top players.
I think I shot 4 under, 3 under, or something like that, and was in a playoff. So 3 days, 11 under, in not that great of conditions was
right.
I golfed my ball.
Yeah.
And you're playing against guys that are doing the same. So it definitely helps.
No, I struggle because I play with Brandon a lot, and it's just there's no competition. So, I don't find that I have that I can further my game. You know what I mean, B? You know what I mean?
I do know. Competition.
Yeah, exactly. Well, dude, what do you got coming up for the rest of the year, man? What's your schedule like? What are your goals for 21-22? I just saw that you played on a couple different tours. The Canada, I think the Latin tour you played on. What are your goals for 21-22, man? What are you going for?
European Challenge Tour status, Canada status, and Latin America status.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with COVID, getting over to Europe was a bust this year. So I was fortunate enough early in the season to get some Corn Ferry exemptions, and they made a new rule where it was the 4 for the 2-year stretch. It was a whole big deal. So Latin Tour season's coming up, or at least we're finishing up this summer. So first and second week of June, we have a couple events coming up. So we'll be in Weston, Florida, which is actually kind of where I live, kind of my backyard. So I get to stay in my own bed. And as of right now, they have a Colombia and an Ecuador event planned. Hopefully we're able to either play them in the States or get down there, but it's not looking great for getting down there. So hopefully we'll figure something out. And then the PGA Tour was actually, they started a new thing called the For Me Tour. I think that's how it's pronounced, For Me, Form. So a lot of us will be playing over there too.
And what's that? That's is it a PGA Tour affiliate, or what is that?
Because Canada's still in lockdown, they basically brought the Canadian Tour into the U.S. and are allowing us to play the tour for the exemptions for the same kind of money in the States, which
awesome.
I don't think anybody's really disappointed about.
Yeah. Well, man, we wish you the best of luck with all of that. I mean, the grind out there sometimes, talking with a lot of the guys who've won the PFP Tour events, talking to Sean, the guys organizing it. And we're just happy that you guys do have, when you aren't able to shoot a 62 to qualify on a Monday, that you have somewhere to go and test your skills. We're going to move into our next section here. We're quickly the section we call the short stuff. Just a kind of a short answer that you have, anything off the top of your head. A swing thought or a drill that you've used since early on in your career.
So swing tips, I'm a completely feel-oriented player. So any kind of drills or devices or something like that, you'll rarely ever see me use.
Right.
Every now and then I'll pull a towel out and I'll kind of get connected and use that as a little bit of a device. But for the most part, my biggest tip is really learning how you swing the club and learning your body and knowing what your body has to feel like in order to hit your best shots. So when I'm on the range, I'm really trying to get those feelings down. You always talk about Tiger saying getting his feels and trying to feel the shots. And I know for me, it's really all in my hands. If I can feel the club in my hands the proper way, I'm going to have a pretty good day.
Yeah.
But the only device I really use or a drill that I think everybody needs to have or use at some point is either a string line or a putting mirror, just to get your lines right. And I think most amateurs, they don't really ever practice putting. They're always on the range.
What are you talking about, Jordan? What are you talking about?
I'm calling you out. But they don't really ever go practice putting. And I think that's the biggest and easiest way for an amateur to shave some shots off their game. Yeah, I mean, I was at my club today and I saw 50-year-olds out there hitting balls and beating them until they were dead tired. Yeah. But not one of them went to the putting green afterwards. So
we're out there to hit balls, Jordan. Come on, man. We got it. How are we going to hit it 310 if we don't keep pounding the ball into the ground?
Right.
Well, dude, I love that tip. Yes, I mean, honestly, I think every single pro that's come on, putting has been like asking them how to shave a few strokes off. Putting has been the number one thing. Putt from off the green, stop chipping. And then both the two of the other people have said, when you go to the course, if you're spending 30 minutes out there on the range, you better be spending 30 minutes on the putting green. Same amount of time.
Yeah, Jordan, it's funny that you kind of answered a couple questions that I had. I guess another question I would have is how important this. So we've had a running debate about golf balls. Actually, it's a fascinating topic to debate. Maybe you've had some debates in your time as a professional, but I'm wondering from a pro's point of view, how important are golf balls? Can you tell a difference between a Callaway and a Titleist? Just tell me how important are golf balls? Do you only play one?
Yeah, so I'm fortunate to have a home with Callaway. They've been great to me the last couple of years, and I was previously with Nike, TaylorMade, Titleist. Pretty much I play them all. I noticed a difference, actually. It kind of goes back to my last point. I noticed the biggest difference on the putting green. So I was taught a long time ago by the guys at Nike that feel equates to sound. The way that the ball sounds coming off the putter head or the driver or your irons or whatever will tell you if it's soft or hard. So it's really not whether you can feel it, it's whether you can hear it.
Okay.
The big rule misnomer in golf. So so I know that from my previous experience, the ball that I played in college was a Nike Resin Platinum. Yeah. It had a little bit of a clicky feel, which made it sound a little bit harder, but it actually was a softer cover ball. Just whatever it was in the ball sounded a little harder. But I think golf ball is a huge deal. So Callaway, fortunate for us, they make several different iterations of their golf ball. So I play the Chrome Soft X Diamond. Mm-hmm. And it's a faster ball speed ball. So it'll actually give you an extra couple miles an hour ball speed, and then it is a low spin ball. I typically spin the ball a lot. So if you find me like playing a regular ProV1X, I'll spin it to the moon. Mm-hmm. So for me, a harder, less spin golf ball is better. And I noticed that on the golf course with my distances, with how it reacts on the greens, with I might catch a few more jumpers where I have an 8-iron from 190 yards where I think it's going to jump and it ends up going forever.
Right.
So,
and is that something you kind of work out? I mean, are you out there with your, if you're sponsored by Callaway right now, are you out there with a rep and you're just kind of working the different balls over and over again, and then you take that onto the course, implement it out there? Is that the process?
Absolutely. I went out to Carlsbad, and I'd say probably half of our fitting was golf ball.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, we kind of started from the green and worked backwards. If I like the feel of it on the green, if it didn't feel like a marshmallow to me, like some golf balls feel like that, especially they're a little softer. So we'd start from the green. If I liked the ball there, we'd bring it back to chipping. If I liked how it reacted chipping, we'd bring it back to irons. If the numbers were good, we'd bring it to driver. And
pros go at the game so different. It's so fun.
It's not fair, man. It's not fair. I'm like, there's a sale on Pro Vs. I'll just get those,
Yeah. No, I was going to say, Mark, I hope you kept the receipt for those pinnacles you bought last week, okay? Yeah. Apparently the cheap balls are not the way to go, man.
Jesus, man. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest advice to you would be, or for picking golf balls would be, start putting. If you like how it feels, then bring it backwards. Putting and chipping really is probably the biggest deal for an amateur.
Yeah.
Because off the driver, I mean, it really doesn't matter. A golf ball is not going to keep it in the fairway.
Right.
So as long as you like the feel of it around the greens, you're set.
Dude, that's awesome advice, just to dig into that like one step further. Because honestly, I've never really, I've never thought about the process going about it that way, which is really dope. When you're on the green, I mean, are you looking for something that's really coming off the face, or is it just a feel thing that you personally have that you're looking for?
So golf balls in the past where I actually feel like the golf ball is coming off a little hotter. And that kind of goes back to the feel sound kind of thing again, where it might not really be coming off hotter, but to me it is. So I might get over a putt, it's a little quick, and I'll be like, oh shit, I got to hit this a little softer. And I hope it's okay to cuss on this podcast.
Hey, as Mark always says, we are not regulated by the FCC. Don't worry.
Yeah, so I'll get over a ball. I'll be like, oh my god, it's gonna come off a little hotter, softer, whatever. I need to hit this harder or softer. And in reality, it might not be the case, but to me, you just feel a little bit of a different hit with it. Yeah. It also depends on the putter face you're playing. So I'm with Callaway. I have Odyssey putters where it's a Surlyn insert that comes off really soft, and so a ball that's a little firmer might actually be better sometimes. Slower greens or whatever.
Yeah, man. I was in a scramble last week, and of course, I'd always just hit a ProV1X just because the name. And I was actually hitting. The guy in the group was telling me hit this AVX Titleist ball. And it's a little bit more shallow, and the dimple's a little bit more shallow, but the ball was traveling 5 to 10 yards further. And then you guys are gonna make fun of me, but this guy also threw down a Callaway. It was like a Callaway soft, and dude, I was hitting that thing 15 yards further. So I got to thinking, like, just because the name ProV1X doesn't mean that maybe that's the right ball for me, because I was only hitting my 8-iron 157 with a ProV1X, and then I was hitting about 167 with a Titleist AVX.
Look, Mark and I will not allow this blasphemy to continue any longer. Okay, this is a ProV1 podcast. All right? Yeah. We don't play anything else, but no, I feel you. I mean, look, I have gotten to the point where I do notice. For me, it's more so around the green, and I'm actually at the point now where it's like I don't like using the same balls because I do see little imperfections. And when you are hitting the ball off the club face, I do feel like those are the types of things that that's when you start really noticing the difference between the ball feel, the spin rate, all that stuff. So I'm, as we talked about last week on the podcast, I'm addicted to the ProV1 drug.
Yeah, some guys have superstitions on the golf course in tournaments where if they're playing one golf ball and they've made 4 or 5 birdies with that golf ball, they will not switch it. Yeah, make a bogey, they'll immediately switch it. I'm actually one of the guys that if that ball's going good, it is not coming out of play. I mean, I'll play it the next day if I really, really want to.
Really? Okay. That makes me feel better because that's what I'm talking about. Like, I was at the point like, man, am I doing myself a disservice by using this ball 2 days in a row? But if it's working, I'm with you.
If it's really up, change it out. But if it's still intact, it's still looking good, it's still fresh. I mean, if it's making birdies, go for it.
I love that.
That's exactly what I was going to ask. I had just heard that a golf ball, like somebody told me that a golf ball can live for 18 rounds. Like it's built to, without getting scuffed up and stuff. If it's still good, it can last 18 rounds. I don't know if that's true or not, but that was going to be my question: is how often is a pro switching out a ball? And it sounds to me like it's, if you get a bogey, maybe you switch it out, but otherwise, keep playing with it until it's no longer intact.
It's very dependent on the player. I mean, I've gone rounds where I switch it out every 2 holes, 3 holes, 6 holes, whatever it may be. But if I'm 8 under par and that golf ball's been good to me, I got to honor that golf ball.
Absolutely. I love that. And, I think it just further shows the difference between the life of a pro and the life of a hacker. If you're switching your ball after every bogey, it would be such a more expensive game for my life. If I was throwing those bogey balls out into the lake every time, I think it would get expensive. Well, guys, I think we've covered our ground. Anybody got any more questions for the pro here tonight?
No, Jordan, thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely, man. And good luck, like we said, with the rest of the 2021-2022 season. We're looking forward to seeing you, hopefully, at the top of more leaderboards, including the PFP Tour. Get us your address as soon as you can. We're going to get you out one of these Smith's kegs. Like I said, super cool piece. Fill it up in the clubhouse. It fits in all the golf cart coolers. Take it out on the course. Get drunk on us, okay?
Really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks so much, Jordan. Nice, man. Jordan Gumberg. I love to hear the pros are playing the same ball 2 days in a row. It makes me feel a lot better about what I'm doing.
No, that was fascinating. It's so everything about when you talk to a pro about golf, you might as well be talking about a completely different sport though. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
the way the amount of time and effort that they've invested into this game compared to somebody like us who has a day job, and play on the weekends. Like it's awesome to see that kind of dedication and then get that kind of insight. It's really cool.
No, it's crazy. Like that whole process. I've never thought about the game. I mean, look, we're all golf obsessed, dudes. I've never thought about the game like that. Going on the putting green, testing the feel of a ball, starting there. If you like the feel of it there, move it back. I mean, because it just kind of follows the same sentiment. I saw 41% of your strokes are putting strokes. It just feels like that can't be true, but it is. I mean, 41% of your strokes will be on the putting green. So
Use it on every hole.
Yeah. So it's such an interesting thought. Start there.
It's amazing. I was actually, you guys can see every time a pro comes on here, it's all about putting. Mm-hmm. So when I was actually in Lake Charles last week and I was playing with some of the guys and I was just kind of passing on the information I've learned from these guys. But it's so funny. Guys like us, amateurs, they want that high flop shot or the bump and run where they literally could just pull out a putter. We all do it. We want, for whatever reason, we don't want to grab the putter. And I was like, hey guys, I've been listening to some of these pros and every single week they all say putter, putter, putter. Mm-hmm. Put the wedge away and just putt. So I can save myself some money on some bogeys because it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, exactly. If you bought some recently, return it, please. I hate to bring this up. I know it's a sensitive topic, but I haven't received any money in my Venmo, and I don't know where it is. It's interesting because we had a pick 'em pool going, and I think somebody won, and I haven't seen any money. What's going on here? What are we talking about?
Kudos to you, buddy. I'll get your money ASAP.
We had Rory McIlroy taking it down. I mean, like I said I was donating $10. I swear to God, when I said it, thought there was zero chance. He was in like 19th place, wasn't playing well, and I was just hoping he was going to play well through the weekend. He comes back, his first win in like, a year and a half. It's freaking awesome. How'd y'all feel about it?
It's always good to see Rory winning, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's another one of those guys that's great for the game. So the Jordans, him, the Brooks, Koepkas, people love when those guys do well. And
he used to make comments, and I used to kind of, as a golf obsessed and someone who really loves the history of the game and the integrity of the game, and I really do hold it up on a pedestal. He used to make some comments that I really didn't jive with. Around Olympics time, he said, I don't play golf to grow the game. He used to kind of make comments about how he didn't care about winning tournaments, and this new leaf he's kind of turned over where you can tell he wants to win out there again, and he's passionate about it. And even when the thought of the Super League, whatever the Super Golf League that was kind of being talked about, when even that got brought up, he was one of the first ones that came out and said it's a cash grab. I mean, I think his exact quote was, I play this game to win the biggest golf tournaments and to cement my name in the history of the game. And hearing those types of comments out of someone like Rory, I think is just phenomenal for the game. He's not throwing it off anymore. He's really going for it now.
Yeah, and I also think that these guys are so good they take winning for granted. And then when you do not have a win for a year and a half, or the Jordan Spieth where it's 2 years, you're like, damn, that felt good.
Yeah. No, totally. And we've had so many on not only the PGA Tour. I don't know if y'all saw this. The European Tour had one this week. It seems to be a common theme in golf right now. He's been he's been a pro for 20 years. He's been on the European Tour for 20 years. He's never won a tournament. He wins the European Masters this week, 478th start. And it was just we've seen so many of these first-time winners and the grind and, these guys making the Monday qualifiers. And, another common theme from them, he was asked after the tournament, how can you describe what you're feeling right now? And his face was so genuine and so honest. He looked at the camera and he said, I literally can't. He's like, I can't explain. This has been 20 years of my life. This is my lifelong dream. It's crazy seeing those emotions, man. I love watching it. It makes golf so much more fun. But I'm with you. When these pros who win all the time, they don't win, they forget about that. And so it's kind of good to see the juxtaposition of these first-time winners winning and then seeing someone like Rory McIlroy almost react like a first-time winner. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's got to be frustrating, right? I mean, whether you're somebody who's used to winning and then you don't win for over a year, or if you've played for 400 plus, starts on a tour on the European Tour, and you finally get your first win. I mean, that's got to be more frustrating, what's the saying, than a 3-legged cat trying to bury a turd on a frozen lake or something like that? Like,
I've never
think
heard
about it,
that.
like, right? Like if you're, I mean, up until that point, he's probably been winning tournaments his entire life, right? In junior golf, high school, or, whatever.
Right.
And you get to a tour and you just don't win. But like KH Lee, this dude, I mean, I don't know that I had ever heard of him before, but this was his 80th start on the PGA Tour. And then he goes and wins the AT&T Byron Nelson. And it's like, it's good to see it. I know it's not exciting and, there's not a big following and stuff. So it kind of makes the tour boring. But for that guy, I mean, you could tell at the end, right? He was just trying to find the words.
Totally. That's I mean, he also
felt like.
Yeah, he was the third Korean-born winner of all time too. So I mean, as we spoke about a few weeks ago, that entire culture is just so into golf. It's such a big deal overseas that watching these guys win for the first time, there's such an added pressure and such an added layer of fandom and fame that's coming along with that. We can't even really comprehend it. But when KH Lee goes back to Korea, being a PGA champion now, it is a totally different ballgame for him.
He's not going back to Korea. He's going to South Carolina because he earned himself a spot at the PGA Championship coming up. Although one piece of advice for him between now and then, it's I don't know if you guys saw this, but the mustache KH Lee was rocking. He looks like he has a few court orders to stay away from elementary schools with that mustache. So it doesn't by Schick and get that thing shaved off and he'll be in a better spot.
He doesn't grow it in fully in some places, and it makes it for an awkward mustache. Okay. It's like when a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old tries to grow it out and it just doesn't quite get there all the way.
Yeah. So let's get that, get that shaved off and then I think he'll be good to go.
I totally agree. But congratulations with or without the mustache to KH Lee on a big win at the Byron Nelson. The only thing really exciting that happened at the Byron was Jordan Spieth made a first day 63, which is lights out all over the place. And he made a little bit of a run. And you kind of briefly talked about it. The PGA Championship is coming up next week at Kiowa Island. And that's a course that he really loves. So, I mean, that was kind of the main thing that I took away from the Byron Nelson was the fact that Jordan's playing well. We're going into a course he likes. It's a major championship. It could get fun. It's also, of course, Rory has won on. He won by 8 when he won his PGA Championship here. So, man, we got a bunch of good players that are playing well right now going into a really exciting field.
It's a big field. So Rory has the odds right now, 10-1 favorite. John Rahm, Justin Thomas.
John Rahm is up there that high? That's crazy to me.
So John, Justin Thomas, and Dustin Johnson are all 12-1.
Wow. That's insane that Dustin Johnson, I mean, I guess he's been playing like shite, but Dustin Johnson and John Rahm had the same odds to win. That's pretty.
Yeah. Jordan Spieth, Bryson are 14-1, Brooks, Xander 16-1, and then Colin and Hideki are 27-1. Those are the top 10.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, we're going to talk about the PGA Championship more, but I feel like with the odds just being read out, I feel like we need to make some picks. I was successful in picking Rory once. I'm going to go ahead and ride the train, guys. I'm going to take him off the field before anyone has the chance. I'm going with Rory McIlroy. He won by 8. I think he's going to do it again. 10-1 odds. I might call Vegas to put 100 down. That's $1,000.
I think you should. I think
I think I need to do it. What about you, Mark? Who you picking? What you got?
You know who's on there? 12-1. Dustin Johnson, DJ. I feel like he's going to finally come through and win it for me. So, and he'll be winning it for me.
Of course, personally, he's been listening.
He's an avid listener of the For the Game podcast. He frequently engages with us on social media, so I think he knows that I'm rooting for him.
Absolutely, it was playing on his yacht. I don't know if you saw or heard. He had the podcast on.
Right.
Well, he did. Brandon, what is your pick? We got Rory and DJ off the list. Who do you think's taking down the PGA Championship at Kiowa Island?
I'm going to go with Jordan.
We have all picked a very typical pick, and I like it.
Well, and for a couple of reasons, that golf course suits Jordan's eye, just like Chambers Bay did in 2015.
Yeah,
Jordan's knocked on the door every tournament this year. Mm-hmm. Obviously, got it done at Valero. I think he's going to take his first major since the British.
It's a great pick. It's a great pick.
Love to see any of those three guys win it.
Yeah, no, legit. As long as any of those three win, golf is in good hands. I think, look, we've already talked about it tonight. We've had so many first-time winners, and we've had so much inspiration. I'm kind of over that for now, okay? I want to see one of the greats. I want to see one of the guys that's supposed to win the PGA Championship.
Patrick Reed, 41-1. Just throwing that out there in case anybody was wondering.
Can we get a name on the rules official? See how efficient he is, and then I'll make a bet. That's great. All right, one other thing I want to talk about. Kiowa, I thought this was funny. So the last time there was a Ryder Cup, 1991. It was called the War by the Shore. I don't know if you guys remember. I really wasn't old enough to be into golf too much. It was 7 at the time. But unbelievably tight, unbelievably intense Ryder Cup, where it was actually the only Ryder Cup that it came down to the last putt. Bernhard Langer missed a 6-foot putt on the 18th hole of the last match to lose the cup. The only one that's ever come down that tight. But in reading about this Ryder Cup that was there was a golfer named Mark Calcavecchia, and I was unfamiliar with him, but I just started reading the story of he had one of the singles matches that was very important that day, one of the last ones. And he's 4 up with 4 to go, and he's playing Colin Montgomery, and he just shits the bed. Double, bogey, triple, double. He finishes, and he loses all 4, and he ends up squaring the match. So they have the match. European team gets a much-needed half point, and it's looking like at that point Europe might take it down. There's only a few matches left. Well, this guy, Mark Calcavecchia, he has an absolute mental breakdown. No one could console him. They had to call in the doctors. He was hyperventilating. They had to let him go walk down by the beach by himself. He was pacing back and forth, they said. No one could help this man. And it just got me thinking, how fucking hard is golf? Like, this guy's been doing it his whole life. He's a professional golfer. And one 4-hole stretch made him have a complete and total mental breakdown. I empathize with him. I mean, have you guys ever had a full and total mental breakdown out on the course?
I didn't have, well, I guess this would be considered a mental breakdown. So in high school, my senior year, that was when I was the best I've ever been at golf. I was, playing really well. And I qualified in one of the better groupings for the area tournament. So, you have your high school season. At the end of the season, a certain number of golfers are selected to play in the area tournament. I'm assuming after the area, you go on to like state or, regionals and then state or something like that. Right. So I'm playing in the area tournament. I'm really excited. I'm in like the 3rd group, playing with some really strong competitors, and played okay. The front 9, I think I was 2 over, which wasn't great, but it was okay. Right. Started on the back 9, went, like a few pars. So I was, 2 over with maybe like 6 holes to play. And I get to this hole and my approach shot goes in the bunker on the right. So I'm like, okay, just, sandy par, let's get out of here. Yeah. I proceeded to go from that bunker over the green into the next bunker, which really pissed me off, right? Cool. That I did that. By the way, this golf course was garbage. The bunkers were garbage. That's my excuse here. So I went back and forth into those bunkers. I mean, by the second time, so I landed in the bunker on my approach shot, over the green, into the bunker on the next shot, rolled onto the green, and then rolled into the bunker on that next shot. I ended up at that point, I was like, fuck this. Like, I don't care. I'm out. Like, there's, nothing I can do to salvage this day. And I was just walking up, not even thinking about it, hitting. Oh, good. Went back into the bunker. I got a 14 on that hole.
Oh my God.
But
that's a breakdown.
By about the 6th stroke, I was like, screw this. And I was just, and then I realized like I'm making a fool out of myself with these other guys who are sitting here, watching me do this. So I calmed down, chipped it out, putted it in. And that was the end of my day. After that though, there was no more nerves because I knew I was freaking done, Oh
yeah. When you're not worried about when you just got a 14 and you're out of the money and the leaderboard,
out of everything. Easier. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
That's terrible, man. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. It reminded me of a story where Brandon, one time we were playing here in California, and he was having a particularly rough day, and we don't play a lot, so he flew out to California. We had a couple rounds, and he was really looking to beat me. And the first round, we were playing a local course, and just like you, the course is shitty. So we're getting frustrated about, all sorts of things hackers get pissed about. The lies weren't great. The bunkers were fucking terrible. And I was probably 2 or 3 up on Brandon. And we're at 16, and it's a par 3. And he hits it, and it's not a bad shot. It's just short into the left by probably 40 yards. And left of that is a lake. And for a second, it looked like it could have been heading towards the lake and then didn't, just sat down. So we drive up to the ball. He gets out of the car. He walks up to that ball and doesn't say a word, doesn't look at me, turns towards the lake and just hits the ball into the lake and then keeps walking to the 17th tee. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And he looks at me and he goes, I'm done with this fucking hole. And he walks off.
I had a lot of stories like that, like younger golf days.
Oh, man.
I tried to mature because I'm just not that fucking good. One that there was many, like I said, but one that really came to mind. I shot a 68 in a city golf tournament. That's my lowest round ever, 4 under. And mental is all. The next day I turn around and shoot 97.
Oh my God.
So
same course?
Different golf course.
Okay.
And the pressure got to me, obviously, because I was playing with some of the best well-known kids in the Fort Worth area. And I had the game, I just didn't have it up here.
My favorite Brandon story is when you same thing as in a high school tournament, and he had a putt for birdie or par or something. You missed it. He goes to hit his foot with his club, and he missed and he shattered his ankle. Brandon is bad. It's bad.
At a regional golf tournament.
He broke his ankle.
I play the next day in fucking Sperry's.
Yeah, I'll never forget his dad. We were texting at the time because he was in a tournament. I was always just trying to keep up with how he was doing, and I texted his dad. I'm like, "Hey, Brandon's in a pretty big tournament, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "How's he doing?" He goes, "Well, he broke his ankle because he missed a putt." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He was like, he tried to hit his shoe and he missed. I was like, "Oh Lord." So yeah, I mean, look, as we've talked about and as we've seen, it's not just Mark Calcavecchia. It's all of us out there. If it goes bad enough, we have mental fucking freakouts on the golf. Sad to see. Well, dude, I'm excited. We got our picks in for the PGA Championship. We either need Rory, Dustin, or Jordan to take this thing down. It's a windy-ass golf course. I'm excited. It's going to be a hell of a test. I'm excited to watch it. Second major of the year. And we still got to settle up from the first picks, guys. Okay? So I'm going to
that'll happen.
Just kidding. Well, thank you guys for sitting around listening to us talk golf. Want to thank Jordan Gumberg for coming on again and talking to us hacks, giving us some tips. Hopefully he gave us all something we can think about and take out onto the golf course. I want to thank our sponsors again real quick at sweetrollsgolf.com and kegsmiths.com. Again, our discount code is PFP15. Gets you 15% off anything on their websites. From the guys at GolfDoods, my name is Jeff Lewis. We have Mark Bonus and Brandon Fletcher. We'll see y'all next week. Cheers, fellas.
See you guys. Cheers.
Bye, buddy.